Welcome back to the third ever episode of Fires News Network Fantasy Football Podcast, where me and my co-host talk about fantasy football every single week. And my co-host is
Mr. B.
And I'm joined by my guest,
Bradford.
Amazing. Welcome into the podcast.
Welcome, Bradford. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
As we mentioned last week, we will be going over our previous week's picks. So, Mr. B, what was your pick? That was good.
Well, I'm going to start, with my good pick from last week, which I feel good about, was Dameon Pierce from the Houston Texans. I think he put up around 26 fantasy points and really dominated the touches and all that for the team. So that one I felt really good about because I started him, and I think he, was one of the big reasons I won. So I felt pretty good about Dameon Pierce from the Texans and how he's looking moving forward.
And congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
For me, I had Russell Wilson as my good pick. Man, I just knew the Raiders sucked. And there's no bias in that coming from a Broncos fan.
Yeah, bummer that we still got the loss, but at least he put up a lot of points. That was promising.
Yeah, I'm hopeful still. Yeah. I'll forever be hopeful.
Bradford, do you want to start with maybe a highlight from your fantasy year?
A highlight, I got Cooper Kupp in the draft. That carries my team. I don't have quite a strong backups, but Cooper Kupp will carry me.
We love people named after Cups.
He's a really good football player.
Yes.
Fantasy football player too. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you got him. For me, for not so good pick from last week, a low light, I will say I picked Marcus Mariota to do well. And I even started him on my team. And I think he scored 3 points. And it was just a disaster of a performance from him. So I got really lucky with the Dameon Pierce pick, but not so much with the Mariota pick.
Yeah, I was disappointed in you for mentioning him last week.
You were right on that too. I give you credit for that.
For me, my bad pick. I was actually pretty good last week, but my worst pick was Christian Kirk. He got 8 points when he's been averaging 21. So 8 points is passable. It's not horrible. It's not going to ruin your whole game, but it's nowhere close to good enough.
Yeah. They kind of Trevor Lawrence had a bad game. They were fumbling all over the place. So
many fumbles.
Yeah. Hopefully they pick it back up. I like the Jaguars.
And Bradford, do you have a low light to your season?
I do. Drake London, I had him. He was a 15-point game in week 4 or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. But he only got 3 points and just let me down last week. So
that's because of Mariota. It's all Mariota's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm blaming that pick on you there.
I'll take it. I think he's going to be good. I'm
he's still only a rookie.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll move on to our picks for this week now. For me, my sleeper quarterback is Trevor Lawrence.
Nice.
Even though he did not have a great game. A lot of fumbles across the whole team. But Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, are turning into an underrated team.
Who are they playing this week? Do you have that?
They are playing the Houston Texans.
Ooh, that's a great matchup. I like that pick a lot.
I like the Jacksonville Jaguars a moderate amount, and I hate the Texans, so it works out. It evens out.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that pick. For me, this is real bad. I might get yelled at again for this. And honestly, I feel like I should have done better, but I'm taking Carson Wentz off my bench, and I'm putting him in the starting lineup this week, which I hope I'm not back here regretting it. But I'm going to do it this week mainly because they are facing a more advantageous matchup. I think they're playing Tennessee Titans, and that is better than the last few weeks that he's been going at it. So I think, and I believe they're home as well. So I think this is, Carson Wentz is good for 1 out of every 3, I would say. You're glaring at me like you think I'm wrong, but Matthew, but I think this is my moment. Carson Wentz is going to start for me. He's going to put up 20 points this week.
It's the Washington Commanders.
I know.
I mean, they had a good first 3 weeks, and Carson Wentz just isn't good.
Yeah. I don't feel great about the pick, not gonna lie, but I'm hopeful. I'll stand by it.
If you're desperate,
I'm desperate. Yes, that's a caveat. If you're desperate, yeah.
And for you, Bradford.
So my sleeper quarterback this week is Jared Goff.
Yes. You had him, Mr. B,
a couple weeks
back.
ago.
Yeah.
I think he scored like 32.
The week that you picked him.
Yeah, he's Lions are the most exciting team to watch from an offensive standpoint and the most frustrating team.
And I was a little bit skeptical of you, but I mean, he's been performing. He's been averaging 22 points per game. Number 5 quarterback in fantasy somehow.
Well, and you should be excited this week. They're going up against a 1-3 New England Patriots, according to ESPN, the 27th ranked defense. So expect a lot of points this week.
You got your facts figured out.
Yeah, I try to bring something to the table.
Jared Goff, let's go. Love that pick.
For sure. Running backs, I had J.K. Dobbins of the Baltimore Ravens as my sleeper pick. He's really good. Unfortunately, he is coming off of an ACL tear from last season, so he just got back on the field recently. But he's good. He's playing Cincinnati, who is a good defense, unfortunately, except he gets the red zone work, and the red zone work is what's most important in fantasy. He had 2 or 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he had a big game.
Yep. He's just a really good running back.
Yeah, I hope he does well this week. Good for him coming back, tough injury, and
2 touchdowns
team needs
last
him.
week.
2 touchdowns, yeah.
And gets work out of the receiving
field. I hope they give some more touchdowns to Mark Andrews for my own sake, but I like that pick. I'm going to pick the Josh Jacobs from Raiders, and partially because of he scored like 35 points last week, but also I was watching some highlights, a couple of those runs. You seem a little bit bummed about this. Also, we never talked about this. Miles Sanders went off for like your boy, like 35 points last week. I bet that was exciting for you.
Only 29.
Yeah. Oh, only 29. He was really good. And Josh Jacobs was really good too. And I was watching some highlights and he looked good. He was like making people miss and he had a burst. And I think they're using him more than people thought. So if I had Josh Jacobs, I'd be pretty pumped about it right now. And then would be starting him for sure.
Nope. It's all false. Josh Jacobs sucks. Horrible running back. Week 1, he got 10 carries. Week 2, 19 carries for only 3.6 yards on average. Week 3, 13 carries. And then this last week, out of nowhere, 28 carries.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy just turns into a different animal against the Broncos and only the Broncos.
Ooh.
Okay, it's only against the Broncos because I'm a Broncos fan and everything goes wrong for me.
That's fair. They are playing Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who can give up some points. Where are you at, Bradford?
For my running back, I had to go with Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Solid pick right there. And main reason I picked is because they're playing the Browns, who are missing 3 of their 4 starters on the defensive line. So their defensive line is just banged up, and just Austin Eckler is going to run right through that.
Their defensive rank is 22nd in the league against running backs. So that's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, I like those odds.
I'm not quite sure how much of a sleeper Austin Eckler is, considering he got picked 4th overall in fantasy drafts.
Yeah, but he's kind of had up and down years. I think that's a fair pick. True. And some people are kind of more down on him.
Yeah, I've been surprised. I've seen a lot of people drop in the, like, I looked at, I forget this website, but it was the official like fantasy website.
Sure.
And I was very interested to see the drop in Austin Eckler. I was like, let's pick him today. We got to support that man.
Sure. Yeah, another one. I think 35 points last week or something like
35,
that.
35. And before this week, he was only averaging like 13 points, maybe 14 points per game, because he's not getting a ton of carries. Even this past week, he only got 13 carries, but it's for the most yards he's had all season with 60. 60 is not an impressive number.
No, it is
but
not.
You drafted Austin Eckler for the pass game.
Sure.
Which week 1, 4 catches. Week 2, 9 catches. Week 3, 8 catches. And then this past week, he had 6 catches and a touchdown. Not to mention the 2 touchdowns he also scored on the ground. So a 3 touchdown game.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. our sleeper picks for wide receivers. Why don't you start, Mr. B?
Sure. I have T. Higgins. Again, not really a sleeper pick, and he is really good also on my team. As you know, I like to pick people on my team because that's what I get excited about for this. But he looked really good last week. He had that long 60-yard touchdown and also was getting just like a lot of targets and throws. And he's going up against the Ravens this week, and they, have been known to give up some passing. So, it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. Maybe Jamar Chase will go off, but I think T. Higgins, I was watching him. He's real good, and I'm looking forward to him having a good year. So I'm going to pick him again.
I also have T. Higgins on my team.
He's good.
So happy.
Yeah.
And he's in my flex position. So,
yeah.
So good. Because my 2 receivers before him are Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown.
Wow.
That's my favorite team.
Yeah, you're rolling.
By far.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I like T. Higgins a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15th ranked wide receiver. But he did miss
he's,
most of one of the games.
He's on the rise. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He would be higher if he didn't miss those games. He could even be ahead of Jamar Chase, who's only about a point ahead of him. Jamar Chase has 1 more point than T. Higgins.
Wow.
And T. Higgins missed an entire game.
And in that game, Jamar Chase scored like 30 points.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I like that pick.
Yeah.
Bradford, what was your pick?
My pick this week was Tyler Lockett.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a sleeper. I'll give that a sleeper.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one I've picked so far. Like a true sleeper here. They are going up against the Saints, who have a strong, they've had some good sacks, rushing, but their secondary is really not that good, and I'm looking forward to seeing this game.
Geno. I'm on Geno too.
Yeah.
He's looking good. I have DK Metcalf, so I'm secretly rooting for him. But Tyler Lockett's also pretty good.
And Geno does have the highest completion rate in the league right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So we're looking forward to that.
Anyways, Tyler Lockett, in one of my other leagues, I had to start him because the Amon-Ra St. Brown did not start, so I had to take him out. And there was no one else I could play, so I had to play Tyler Lockett. And I was like, oh, he's so up and down. Maybe he can give me a good week. Sure enough, he got me enough. 13.1 points.
Huge.
Still not enough to pull me out the win, but
bummer.
It's fine.
Always this week.
The team's 3-1.
Huge.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's my one loss. He did good enough for me.
Yeah.
For me, my sleeper receiver is Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Ooh, Hollywood.
With the Cardinals. Man, Kyler Murray, the little kid child running around on the field.
He's short.
He's a good quarterback, I'd say. I think he gets most of his fancy production on the ground, but his receivers sure can still put up points. Man, Marquise Hollywood Brown has been good this year.
Yeah, especially recently. That's a good pick.
What do you think about them playing the Eagles, though? How do you think that's going to go?
So they have Darius Slay, and I don't know who else. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Eagles are pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I will say, the Eagles are good, but I'm trusting a number 1 wide receiver on a team to play like a number 1 wide receiver on a team.
They'll also probably be down in the game.
Until DeAndre Hopkins
So they'll probably
back.
be trying to throw to get back in the game. So
Yep.
Well, we'll find out next week.
Yeah.
And now we will go on to our do not starts for this week. And you guys were talking of your big storm about Geno Smith.
We love
How he's
Geno.
so great. Oh my gosh.
Team Geno.
I hate him. Okay. Hey, maybe that was a little harsh.
a little aggressive there, but that's okay.
Maybe a little harsh. I don't hate him, but I don't like him for this week in particular.
Sure. Yeah.
He's playing a pretty good defense with the Saints. The Saints are good. They're top 10 defense. Not a top 10 team. I know you have your facts, Bradford. I don't want to disappoint you. But they are a top 10 defense. And, Geno Smith, I kind of think similarly to Carson Wentz. I think he can give you good games. And I think this start to his season is a complete outlier to any other season he's ever had.
Yeah.
And it's at his age, 30-something season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust him.
Yeah, I honestly you picked Carson over him because of the matchup. So I think the matchup's really the big thing there. And my do not start is Marcus Mariota. just flipping on him.
Traitor.
So, I know.
Traitor.
Like, watch, how much you want to bet he goes off for 30 points this week? I bet if that happens,
I bet $0 on that because he sucks.
Well, I agree with that too, but the possibility of it is like, it would happen on this week where I flip flopped like that. So, yeah, that's my pick.
Isn't that how we all feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, my pick for this week, don't start Derek Carr.
Why is that? He was good last week.
It's an interesting pick, but up against the Chiefs defense, he hasn't been good the past few years he's played them, and they have been known to give up some points, but this week I'm thinking no, they're shutting him down.
I like it. That's a great take. He says no this week, they're shutting him down. I love that. Confidence.
But what about all those weapons they have? Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, now Josh Jacobs.
I think they're going to really rely on that run game this week.
Yes, my guy, Josh Jacobs, your guy.
How about running backs?
Running back, I am going to say don't start Najee Harris.
Ooh.
Steelers are so bad. And yeah, I mean, like, this is another one of those picks. Like, I picked Dalvin Cook last week, and like, was that the greatest pick? Maybe not, because you still played him, but he wasn't great. And I feel like Najee Harris is kind of like Dalvin Cook. Probably going to give you like 11 points, 12 points, but like not really in that, like, gonna do too much for you. So this is like, it's tough because like do not start doesn't really work because you have him, you got to play him, but not really looking high for him in this offense.
Najee Harris is an amazing running back. He's so good. Unbelievable last year. He's just really good. But again, that offense as a whole,
very true.
It's like Mitch Trubisky. I don't know who they're going to start this week.
No.
Unreliable. I don't know. His offensive line has no one to run and block for him.
For sure.
Where you at, Bradford, this week?
This week, I say don't start Darrell Henderson.
Yeah.
And that's because just last week, that Cowboys defense was amazing.
Yeah.
The unit just shut down everyone. I mean, there's no run game this week. Don't start.
Don't start him. Yeah, that's a good call.
Also, they're playing the Rams, the 11th best run defense in the league. Pretty good. And that's not even to mention Cam Akers is the other guy. I mean, he's good.
Not getting enough work.
Like, there's just not enough role in that offense for Darrell Henderson to prove anything for you or help you in any way. For me, my running back that I said do not start, a little bit spicy. A lot of people I know do like him. It's Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good pick. He's not really going to score too much.
No. I think he's old. I think he's bad. I think they have a better running back in that team. Tony Pollard. I like Tony Pollard. I don't know about Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, and the Cowboys have been really relying on that pass game. So
yeah,
I like that pick.
Even with Cooper Rush. They've been throwing the ball with Cooper Rush. As soon as Dak Prescott gets back, they'll continue to do that.
Yeah.
Even more than with Cooper Rush. Like, Ezekiel Elliott, no. Bad.
Okay, wide receiver, last one. I chose Gabe Davis, who I like, but has really struggled to produce this year. So I think he's kind of on the like, show me what you got, like rest or don't start until he shows us what he's got a little bit. So I'm gonna choose him from the Buffalo Bills. So Gabe Davis.
I mean, he's the second running back or wide receiver in that offense. Behind none other than the one, the only. I love him. Stephon Diggs.
Please start to Stephon Diggs, please.
But he does have a great quarterback, Josh Allen.
It's true.
Really good.
I mean, he can bust out for 40 points. That's what's crazy. But
I mean, 40 points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know about that with Stephon Diggs being there, but he can absolutely give you a 20, 30 point game on any given week. So, don't start at your own risk, but for now, I'd say it's a good play since he hasn't really produced in the past weeks. How about you, Bradford?
For me, Garrett Wilson, not a big name receiver, but one that's on a lot of people's flex spots. So I would say against a Miami defense, don't start him this week. I see you giving me a look over there. What's that about?
Man, all of this, you're just ruffling my feathers. Oh, man. I mean, Josh Jacobs, oh my God.
Zach Wilson is not good, I don't think.
And now, hey, we don't talk about Zach Wilson like that.
Okay.
Okay, coming out of that draft, I love Zach Wilson behind Trevor Lawrence. Okay. I thought he was so good, and I still believe in him. He just had some injury problems, but he's good. Come on, he's good. Come on. Okay.
We'll see.
And Garrett Wilson, he's also good.
Yeah, like Mr. B said, we'll see about that one.
Okay. I guess we can give it another week if you guys really want before we choose to do whatever with him. For me, my wide receiver pick was Deontay Johnson to do not start. Again,
Steelers.
Going back to what you said, Mr. B, with Najee Harris, just about offense in general. Deontay Johnson is he's in that same offense. Who knows what that quarterback is going to do? Just I'm not impressed by them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that looks like it's it. And we will wrap that up.
Well, good luck to you all this week. We'll have to check back in and see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm hopeful, looking for my team to score another victory, and I wish you all the same.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the podcast, and also comment and tell Bradford how bad his picks are.
Okay, well, we'll see about that one, but definitely subscribe.
Adios, everybody.
Bye.